This is Law Prepper here, and one of the gentlemen was telling me, get back in the kitchen and bake, which I ended up deleting the post because some of it started getting pretty raunchy on some of the comments they was making. But the fact is, no one is safe in it, totally safe in an SHTF event or a worldwide event. SHTF, men can get raped too. They can become enslaved and forced into labors and duties that they would not want to be in. So, in other words, they can become the woman in a situation. And I know you're sitting there saying, hey, like a couple of them say, get back in the kitchen and keep baking. It's what happens when you give a woman a camcorder. But the fact is that it can happen. There is men out there who are personalities not as strong or as domineering as some of the other men personalities. And then there's men out there who are very macho who says, I'll never become a homosexual. That is just not going to happen. But in an SHTF event, and there's nothing but a group of men, you're going to have a domineering one, so you're going to have the ones that's not so domineering. And in many cases, not always, there may be some in some groups that someone would unfortunately end up in uh, these type of men who will force themselves upon the men who, I'm not saying they don't have the backbone, they're just not aggressive, or they're young, or whatever reason, maybe they're sickly. But they will assert their dominance over this type of man. And then they will force this type of man into servitude, as well as into taking care of the meals, the chores, or whatever they choose to do. This is what's going to happen in that situation. Now, it's not going to happen everywhere, but it will happen in some groups. So, these type of men that are out there with these type of morals about them or values, many of them could have come from what's called good families, could have come from well-paying jobs, could have came from just flipping burgers, and it could be the type that was always helping the neighbor out. But when things went to pot, the other side of their personality began to surface, the side that was hidden from the world. We put on a face when we go out. When I leave my home, I put on my smile and my happy-go-lucky southern charm and just sing all day. A lot of times I'm singing at work and I'm joking and everything. But I got a temper. And I've seen it flare up a few times there. But I get really depressed and I get moody. And there's just days I really don't want to be around people, don't even want to get out of bed sometimes. But that side I have to kind of keep hid from the outside world. Such as interests and hobbies as people has. And there's some people have some rather dark hobbies, dark interests. It's been showed on TV more people who was in high rating profile turn out to be this and this and this, and people's like, really? I would have never thought it. So men can be raped just like the women can. Men can be forced into servitude. Men can be forced into slavery just as women can in an SHTF situation. So it's not just women that's got to deal with this, it's the men as well in some cases. Many of the male groups that gets put together, many of them will be good men who would never prey upon the other men in that situation. But there is those that will be like that, whatever reason, power, a hidden demon that people didn't know about, because we really don't know people really as well as we think we do sometimes in many cases. We are forced to go out there. We go out there with that face. You see someone with the perfect hair, the perfect manicure, the perfect this and that. And they go to church every week or whatever. They got the 2.5 kids. But when SHTF happens worldwide, you're going to see the true colors of many of these people. And many of these, actually, good people are going to turn into something that they weren't. You know, if you watch Walking Dead, you'll see the episode. You know, Rick, he was just a sheriff. He was a good family man. You know, things that he's doing now, you know, people's like, go, wow, you know, his wife's telling him he needs to get rid of Shane. Go on, you know, he needs to be dead. But then when Shane was killed, all at once she was appalled. But she was instigating it. See what I'm saying? You got him like doing that. So, you know, but he changed for survival of his people in that situation. But in that group, they're not raping one another. They're not beating one another. They're taking care of one another. But that's not going to always be the case in some groups. Some of the groups will do that. Unfortunately, they will rape their own in their group. They will force them into servitude and slavery. They will force them into cleaning up after them or whatever it is. So men are not necessarily safe either. If you are of a timid nature, they will prowl on that. They will take advantage of it, of these certain type of groups. Some men are still in the closet and they will not ever admit that they have desires for other men. But in an SHTF event, and if they are of an aggressive type of nature personality, they will and they can act on that side of them. So when I talk about prepping for women and the sides and things, and I'm being told to get back in the kitchen and keep baking, and that I need to get a big old rubber, you know what, and take care of myself and all this other crap. I'm not trying to be necessarily mean. I'm trying to open up some people's eyes about some things and share some thoughts and things to it. So men can be raped, and it's not a pretty picture. The men will go through emotional trauma just like the women will. They will feel like they're worth nothing. And in a situation like that, and repeatedly raped time after time after time, it will become a normal way of life for them. They will feel like they have no control over their life and that they have to do what they are told to do. And some will start to bond with those who are their aggressors. And that can happen. It does happen. And you've heard of it happening many times in situations where someone's been a prisoner after a while and they start relating to them and all that. So it can happen in an SHTF event worldwide. It will happen at SHTF worldwide. Women will be raped. They will be forced into servitude. It doesn't matter what age the woman is. If that's the only woman around and she could be 70 years old, men don't care. They are going to rape her. This is going to be the same deal in a man's side of view. If they are in a group and they come across a young man or whatever, or a man that's not aggressive or whatever, they can take advantage of the situation, they're going to do it. Some of them has no moral compass at all. Whatever moral compass went away the day SHTF happened. And now they're getting to live in this life that they only dreamed about for many of them, and they enjoy living like that. So it's going to happen. It can happen. And if it does happen worldwide, then men, you better be expecting that your buttholes is going to be targets. Women ain't alone in this, but you men, you better think about it. You better think about it hard, that your butthole is going to be part of it. And that's just how it is. And you can be put into slavery and servitude for sexual services and other things just as well as women can. So this is Live Prepper here. I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.